Welcome back, guys. This is a video I have been owing you. Does that make sense? This is a video I have owed you for this whole week. It is part 2 of the This or That series that I started, where we talk about palettes in my collection that have similar color stories, similar vibes, all of the things. I can't wait to show you what I have here in front of me. I was supposed to post this like right after I did episode 1, but I went to edit the video and my whole top teeth were covered in brown lipstick. Like, I can deal with some stuff and let it go. Like the video, part 1 of the video, I actually have lipstick on my tooth. And you know, I posted it anyway. But then to see it all over my teeth, I'm like, hell no, I'm not putting that on the internet. So that's what took so long. I am back and I'm excited to do episode 2. I actually decided to also turn this in a series because you guys seem to really love it. Probably as much as I did, which is surprising, but let's go ahead and get into it. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Heather, and I love all things makeup, especially colorful makeup and indie brands. And if you guys love those things too, I really hope you will subscribe. Don't forget to click the little bell so you can be notified of all my future uploads. And with that being said, I'm excited about today's video. But if you want to know what is on my eyes, it is actually the Unearthly Not Normal palette, and it's so beautiful. If this is what it means to not be normal, then I am so glad I am not normal, because this palette is gorgeous. If my video is not up yet, it will be soon. It should be up before this one though. I think it will be. But I'm excited to jump into this video. I decided to not do because the footage that I had to throw away was like 3 hours long. So I decided to break this down in parts. And you know, the more releases that come, the more we will, you know, keep doing this series. I think it's really fun. So instead of this being a 2-hour video, because that's probably what it would have ended up being, we're going to make this a smaller segment. But don't worry, I still have 6 stacks of palettes here. We're going to do some swatches and all of the things. So the first ones I want to talk about are the blue palettes. I have a really deep love affair with blue eyeshadow. Love it with so much. So that is why I have, no, I'm missing one. I have 5 monochromatic blue palettes in my collection. Let me go grab that other one real quick though. So the first blue palette I ever bought was actually this one. This is from ColourPop. You can tell from the outside, this is very well loved, very well used. This is the Blue Moon. I do believe it's still available on their site. I got a ton of use out of this. I used to love ColourPop, but then I fell in love with indie brands, and I can't even tell you the last time I touched my older ColourPop palettes. I keep them for nostalgia. Plus, it's good when you film content to have a library, you know what I mean? But this is really pretty, but it's also very similar to these other palettes. So this is the last one that I picked up. It is the Cosmic Brushes Winter Wonderland, and this is my favorite blue palette in my collection. It is so beautiful. This palette can dupe every one of these other palettes, but you can see totally same vibes. I will say this one does have some different undertones in there as well, which is one of the things that I really loved about it. I think I got that palette in 2021 or 2020, maybe 2020. And then I have this one from Juvia's Place. This is the Allure 2. I really loved Juvia's Place for a long time, and I picked up a few of their palettes during that time. I still like them, but they kind of went off my radar since the beginning. And then that leaves me with 2 blue monochromatic palettes from Glamlight. We have the Icy Blue Raspberry palette. I picked this one up probably about 2 years ago at TJ Maxx, And then the Hershey Kiss, and I picked this up around the same time. You might be asking yourself, why? Why did you pick up two? Well, it's because I have quite the obsession with Glamlight. I own probably close to 30 palettes from them now, and I love blue eyeshadow, so why would I not pick them up? But honestly, if you don't have these little 4 palettes, if I could recommend one to you, it is this one. It is so beautiful. I'm not going to swatch like these ones because, you know, like I said, if I recommend one, it's this one. The Glamlight ones are good too, but this one, it goes from really light to really dark. You have added extra colors. You have this gorgeous mint, and the purples really add to it. You have these high impact shimmers with duo and multi-chromes. It's just a gorgeous palette. So let's swatch some. Obviously, Winter Solstice is one of my favorites. It's so pretty. I'll try to get it to like zoom in, but as I mentioned in part 1, sometimes it's better when it blurs. But this shade is so pretty. It's like minty, but it has like that fiery peach. Oh, it's so stunning. It's so pretty. Ooh, an Atmosphere, which is this shade right here. It's such a pretty multi-chrome. They're actually supposed to announce, like, well, show their Christmas collection tomorrow, and I cannot wait to freaking see it. I love them. I bought all of their palettes except for the first one, and it's no longer being sold, but I've loved them all. Gothic was my least favorite, but it's not a bad palette. It's just not my kind of color story, but that is so freaking cool. It's a good color. And then let's do Breathe and Chill. This is Chill, and you know, I just told you how much I love blues. This blue shimmer is to die for. And last, I want to do Wonderland, which is this really high shine, freaking gorgeous white shade. And it's like from white to gold. It's so pretty. I just love them. They make me so happy. Actually, I have another stack here with cosmic brushes as well, and it is this one. We have Cosmic Brushes Undergrowth. This palette is really beautiful. I know it's a favorite of a lot of yours, and I really liked it too. I just struggled with it, like trying to get very different looks, but I was kind of in a funk when I created looks with this, and I'm almost positive that might be why I struggled. But you could totally dupe the Sorcerer's Smoke palette from Unearthly with this palette. I really love them both, and I'm going to be honest, I don't even know if I can pick between the two because I love them both. They're both favorites. But if I was someone who had a smaller collection and I wanted to pick one up, and maybe you don't have a lot of green shades, in that case I would choose the one from Cosmic Brushes because it does have those other tones in here. So you could probably get more looks out of this, and especially if you have a lot of neutrals in your collection, you could really amp those looks up with some other shades too. But please don't let that make you think that I am not head over heels in love with this palette so much that I even have pan in one of my shades, and that's hard to do with my collection. This shade right here, Sorceress, almost has pan. And these palettes aren't like dupes of each other, but they have very similar vibes. You can create very similar looks with them. So some of my favorite shades in the Undergrowth is the shade Undergrowth, and then Fireflies. Fireflies is so pretty. It's like that like greenish gold, but it's like fiery peach too. I don't know why it doesn't even, you can barely even see the green, but the green is there. I wonder if I show you like this what it looks like. It's this shade, and you could kind of see it. You can see how it shifts green. It's so stunning. And then here is the one, Undergrowth. And you see, one thing that these brands have in common is their shimmer formula is very thin and silky. It feels like a satin. So I think someone recently asked me in a video, I haven't responded yet, I don't think. I can't remember. Yesterday was a blur, but they asked me if I had aging eyes, what like brand would I recommend? And I honestly, it would be Unearthly or Cosmic Brushes or brands like those that have that really thin formula. Like Ensley Rain and Bella Beauty Bar have formulas like that as well, but they also have that thicker shimmer formula that's like more textured, which I love that. But I don't, on an aging eye, you might not like that. So those are my two recommendations for anyone who might be interested. Now this shade on the bottom is Sorceress from Unearthly, and it's stunning. It's a hollow too, I'm almost positive. And this is another one of my favorites. It is Transfixed, but you can see like how these are really glossy looking, really freaking beautiful. I highly recommend them both. Both are wonderful brands. I love both of them, but I do have a code with Unearthly, and it's AOML. If you guys want to save 10%, it is affiliated though. I can't even talk right, but to be fair, it's 12 o'clock at night, and this is my third video. And I got strangled earlier, and I thought I was gonna die. It was so freaking scary. That was my alarm telling me that the Bright Lash sale will be starting in 13 minutes. So I will have to go take a break because I want to buy more of those. I love Bright Lashes. They are so freaking, so beautiful. This palette is so beautiful. And if you're new here, I'm planning on going to a Vegas trip with one of my friends. We're going to a Creators and Friends event, and I think this might be the palette that I bring because this is so freaking stunning. I lose my mind every time I look at this. This palette was so underrated, but it does remind me of this palette from Nomad, which is the Ghost Town. This one is the Adept Amy loves. I don't think I told you which one it is. I love Nomad's formula, and I do have a code with them as well. But if I had to pick between the two, honestly, I would pick the Adept one. The Nomad one is a lot more affordable. I mean, and I say that term lightly, but, or is it loosely? I don't know, but you know what I mean. But this one is so good. She did such a good job on this. I think I finally made up my mind about what I want to bring because it's like winter theme, and my jewelry is going to be silver. So I think this might be the one. Look at those. I lose my freaking mind every time I touch them. And see, they have a thin formula too, but that shade right there, it's really impactful and gorgeous, but it might show texture. I'm not exactly sure. So, look at these. I immediately got a Grease song stuck in my head. The one, look at me, I'm Sandra D. You know, I don't know, because I said look at these. I'm crazy, guys. Let me know if you have musical ADHD down below. But I could just look at them forever and just put them all over my face. I just think they're so freaking stunning. They did such a fantastic job. And let me tell you, the video should be up hopefully before this one, but I just filmed looks with the new palette, the Vivette, and it is so beautiful. It might be Vivette, but either way, it is so freaking gorgeous. But I haven't even swatched this one yet, and it's really pretty too. Look how like shifty, shimmery those shimmers are. They are so stunning. That's a really pretty silver too. Up here it's called Quicksilver, but it's more of that blue based kind of silver. These feel really nice too. I know this palette is a lot of people's favorites, and I'm excited to put it on my eyes and like try to figure out why, but it's beautiful. They did say they're low on stock, and I believe it was on this one. It was either this one or the other one. I can't remember the name of it. I'll pop it up here somewhere on the screen, but I'm excited to have this in my collection. Love the lenticular motion packaging. Ooh, this next one is a good stack. This is one of my favorite freaking palettes from Gourmand Girls. I love them so much, but this is a collab with Ladybug Glow, and I love them as well. But look at this freaking palette. It is so delicious. Oh, I had so much fun creating my looks with this one. This is like a dream color story of mine. But it reminds me so much of this one from DEDE Signature, and this is the Eloquence palette. These little palettes are so freaking cute. I'm so glad that I picked them up. I think they're so beautiful, but they are very similar. And then we have the Jackdaw palette, I think is what she said. My friend Melina sent me this, and I love and appreciate her so much. This is so pretty. This is one that I really want to use as soon as possible, but I have swatched it and it's gorgeous. That shimmers, that center shimmer is so pretty, but it reminds me of this shimmer. So let's do a little comparison. I did use some of the shades out of this palette, like one day when I was getting ready for a doctor's appointment. That's so pretty. And the only the only critique I have with their formula is they the mattes get really fallouty, so you really have to be careful with them. I will say these formulas feel similar. This is the one from the DEDE Signature palette. It's really pretty, but it doesn't have like that light green base to it. The one in the Jackdaw palette is more flippy and reflective. It's really, they're both gorgeous. Here they are on the finger. Sometimes you can see better. Like you see this one, that's the Jackdaw palette. It's so stunning. I really, really want to get into this brand a little more. And like see Beauty and stuff is taking a big, like they're doing a lot. One of the people that sell them, let me look it up real quick. They're driving me nuts. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but I think I deleted it. I think it's the C Beauty or whatever. They keep sending me an email asking me to be on their PR thing and to become an affiliate, but it says right under it, you have to have 3,000 subscribers. And I'm like, why do you keep asking me to be on your program when you know I don't have 3,000 subscribers yet? Like, it's so, like, why are you wasting your time and mine? You know what I mean? I don't mean that to sound like as snotty as it might have come across, but it's annoying. Oh, I love these ones in the Gourmand Girl palettes as well. But the Gourmand Girl shimmers are different, but they have a really nice formula too. And they are really silky and beautiful and so reflective. Oh, they're so gorgeous. I was lucky, and my friend Melina told me about the Ice Cream Beauty box, and I was able to get this palette in that box. So I'm really happy to have these in my collection. I think they're freaking gorgeous. This next one is a good one too. So we have the Coastal palette from Simply Posh, and this is a really beautiful color story. For me, this is not a standalone palette because it doesn't have enough deep shades, and I like dramatic looks. I love a dark outer corner, but this palette is so beautiful. It's also magnetic, so you could also switch stuff around if that's what you wanted. But it reminds me so much of the Spring Magic from Unearthly. they're not like dead-on dupes, but they are very similar. Unearthly does have like the blue, you know, and some more like straight up green. But these have very similar vibes. Now, if I had to pick between the two, I would definitely 100% go with the Unearthly Spring Magic. I'm actually wearing the blush palette that released with that today. The Spring Magic blush. I love these. They're like satin blushes. They look so beautiful on the face. Keep in mind I've had this makeup on for like 6 hours today, so it's not like fresh makeup. And I got the weirdest thing. I got a pimple right here on each side of my face. Make that make sense. I will say though, the shimmers from Simply Posh are really, really pretty. I always have fun with them. And I love them. But I prefer the shimmers from Unearthly Cosmetics. They are delicious. Let me try to find some that might be like a little similar. I'm just going to swatch some favorites. Okay, they might be a little hard to see, but the bottom 4 are Unearthly Cosmetics. And do you see like how smooth they are? They're so pretty, so reflective, and just absolutely stunning. But I do really enjoy this Simply Posh formula as well. If it's just like if I had to rank the formulas, I do like the one from Unearthly more. But I'm really excited to see what else this brand comes up with. I think they've came out with some really great stuff. And I'm excited to see something new from them. I think the last palette they released was the COSTAL palette, and I think it released in like July. Okay, so I recently reviewed this palette. It's the Unearthly Cosmetics Just a Taste, and someone mentioned it in my comments that they thought it looked really similar to the HARVESTMOON, and I agree, they do have very similar vibes, but the thing that makes, it's hard to explain, hold on. So, the thing that really makes me feel like these are similar are these 2 bright shades right here and this shade, Mortal Flame, but the one in this palette is only a shimmer, and the one in the Unearthly palette has like a matte and a shimmer, but in foliage is really similar to this Immortal Flame shade. They have very similar vibes. You can't deny that. They really do. But let's see. So I love, love, love the one from Unearthly Cosmetics. They are one of my top favorite brands, but so is ENSLEY Rain. And if I had to pick between the 2 palettes, I would pick the matte color story of this one, because this one goes from really light to really dark. Plus, I really love their shimmers. And I love the color story. The ENSLEY Rain palette, I really love the shimmers, but the matte section is too mid-tone for me. This would never be a standalone palette because of that. But I really love these shimmers. Like, they are really, really, really good. They are so beautiful. And let me just say, nobody does a holochrome better than ENSLEY Rain. But they're both, like, in my top favorite brands of all time. So, I really can't choose, you know what I mean? But I'm just being honest. While I love the Unearthly Shimmer formula, I feel like the one from ENSLEY Rain is more impactful. But the one from Unearthly is more thin, if that makes sense. So, one of my favorite shades in this palette, and I'm going to have to stop swatching it because I'm starting to get pan in it from it, but I don't want to run out. Do you see that? Hollow? That is the shade Hunter's Moon, and it's so beautiful. Like, they can do a color story like nobody's business. And they're getting ready to come out with another collection that launches on Black Friday. And I cannot wait to have that in my hands. What else should I do? So we have Tombstone, which looks like that matte shade in the Unearthly palette. Look at that. It's like fire. And that's a sheer, like, wash of it. you can build it up and make it full. Like full on. It's so pretty. There's so many good ones. Ooh, Bougie. That is the funniest shade name too. But it's also hollow. It's really gorgeous. I like this shade, Sparkling Cider. It's like a multi-chrome. It's so gorgeous. But it's a deep one, and I like that. I like that a lot. It's so pretty. But there's the finger swatches of those. Because sometimes I feel like they make it show up better. I fixed that ring finger one. It's just so stunning. Then we'll do some from the Unearthly palette. I am one glittery gal. This palette was so much fun. But we have Immortal Flame. And the reds they've been doing lately are so freaking glossy and high impact. That's one finger swatch. That's one finger swatch as well. But I like to build them up personally because I build them up on the eye. So there's those two. They are so beautiful. This is Fanged Charm. They do have charm, them vampires. They make me want to be a vampire when I read about them. And then we have Mossy Gray. That's like a really pretty, like, pewter green, olive, gold. It's really gorgeous. So it just depends, like, what you're looking for, you know? But they kind of remind me of the Underland, and they're not similar, but I think it's the muted, like, grungy color story, if anything, that reminds me of them. So I just wanted to bring it up as an honorable mention. But again, Ensley Rain freaking killed it with this palette. The only thing I wish there were some lighter mattes, but it's understandable why they're not in here. Because, like, the theme of it all, this color story makes perfect sense. But the person in me, the way that I like to create looks, I just wish it had more mattes. But, you know, look at that. Jesus. We're not looking at my nails today, guys. We're just not. Oh, my goodness. It's so pretty. I can't even stand it. We'll do one more because we have one more palette to get to. That one's pretty. That's the shade Shattered Glass. It's so pretty. I love them. And those palettes remind me of this palette. And I think for the same reason, it's that grungy color story. This one is way different. It's more like grungy, woodsy, swampy. And these have those aspects, but it also has like differences as well. So like you could get completely different looks from these. I really love the blues, but these shimmers in this palette are so freaking good. I just can't even. Bella Beauty Bar is so freaking amazing. They are so good when it comes to color stories, and their formula is so good. I am really into these more like high impact types of shades right now. I like the unique holochromes and, you know, the like heavy shifts in a shade, and that's what these give me, which is why I've been really into Bella Beauty Bar and Ensley Rain this year, and I just keep getting more and more excited. Every time I get a new release from them, I fall so freaking in love. And I know that like Ensley Rain costs more, but if you're willing to pay it, or you're able to pay it, whatever your circumstances may be, I will tell you, if you ever see a color story that you fall in love with from Ensley Rain, you will not regret it. 100%. I put everything I have on it. I don't know how anyone could ever hate anything from ENSLEY Rain. Like, their formula is so freaking good. It's so good. Their shimmers are so impactful. They have some of the best multi-chrome flips in any of the... I probably have well over 200 palettes by now. We'll find out. It's almost palette collection declutter time. But I think they have some of the best like shimmer shadows within my whole entire collection. Personally, I even think they're better than Cleona. I just think they're wonderful. You truly just cannot go wrong. So when it comes to saying like you can dupe a color story, now, I have not tried everything. I've not tried Terra Moons. There are so many, like, really good brands that have, from what I hear, really good shimmer formulas that I've personally not tried. So, I can't speak for everything. I'm just telling you, out of what I've tried in my collection, they hands down have the best shimmer formula that I have ever tried, and it's so amazing. That's why when my friend Rachel won our giveaway, well, one of my giveaways, I was so freaking excited when she picked Cold Moon, because it was like I got to re-experience ENSLEY Rain through her eyes, and I was so happy to be able to give that to her. It was like the greatest feeling in the world, and honestly it couldn't have happened to a more kind, well-deserving person either. But yeah, I love ENSLEY Rain. I love Bella Beauty Bar, Gourmand Girls, Fantasy Cosmetica. I'm really falling in love with Artitude Cosmetics. I have 2 palettes from them so far though. So far so good. It seems to be consistent throughout the 2. I am about to pick up the Vintage Neutrals palette, so I'm excited to see how that goes, because that palette is so freaking gorgeous. Let me know if you guys are picking that one up as well, but I really do love eyeshadow. Like, I was in a funk when I started filming today, and it just put me in the greatest freaking mood. I just love everything about makeup. And if you missed my video with this palette, I highly recommend you go check it out, because I do have a special thing that happens in the video that I would like for you guys to see, and you might not want to miss it, so you might want to check it out. But thank you guys so much for watching this video all the way till the end. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. It really does help me out. Let me know. I love the discussion in the first episode when you guys talked about palettes that you thought were similar. So let's have another discussion down below. And you know what? I think what I want to do is start saving some of your comments and start showing the palettes in the video. I mean, in the next video, if I have them, and pop your comment up on the screen. That way it can be a little more interactive. I think that could be really, really fun, but I'm really excited to do a part 3. Also, I don't know when this video is going up, but my trip to Vegas is on December 5th. But I think me and Christina from Gourman Girls are going to try to go live while we're getting ready for the party, so that we can all hang out and stuff. I think it could be really, really fun. So stay tuned for that. Once I get any type of details and can confirm it with her, I will post it all down in my community page, and I'm sure she will do it on her Instagram as well, and I will try to do the same. But I love you guys. I hope you had so much fun. God knows I did. But until next time, bye.